spoilers. I am Adam. Don't let my voice dissuade you from thinking I did not like the movie we're about to discuss. I'm not feeling great. Took some Tylenol sinus PM, and I slept like a log for about 12 hours. Fucking amazing. Haven't done that in a long ass time. But here we are. So, let's talk about what's it called? Let's talk about Enola Holmes 2. And I will do The World We Make maybe later tonight. But it's just I'd rather get this in because, SEO and all that. You're more likely to get people looking for Enola Holmes 2, I think, than The City We Make, The World We Become. The world we, the city we become, I think. So, let's talk about Enola Holmes 2. Enola Holmes 2 is a sequel to a movie that I have not seen. It is about Sherlock Holmes' little sister, played by, in this case, Millie Bobby Brown of Stranger Things, which I also have not seen. My only familiarity with this actress is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. Outside of that, not really too familiar. I was surprised to learn she's British watching this. And I will say this, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to. Henry Cavill's great. And his mystery involving Moriarty is entwined with Enola's story, but not in a way where he comes in and saves the day. It is very much he's doing his thing, she's doing her thing, and the two happen to intertwine, but at the same time, she is not, her agency is not taken away by him also solving a similar interwoven thing. I think ostensibly this is meant to be a kid's movie. I think that's fairly obvious from watching it, that it is designed to be a movie for kids' first introduction to a mystery. In the same way that I remember being in 4th grade and going to the library in school and being read my first Sherlock Holmes story, where it was The Case of the Speckled Band, where the guy had the hat with the speckled band around, and it was really a snake that went in and killed the woman, and it's well, how the fuck were we supposed to know that? We're in 4th grade. Anyway, I remember the guy who read it was really, how did you guys not figure this out? And it's well, there's nothing in the book that acknowledges that he had anything to do with a snake that I recall. Either that, you have a bunch of 4th graders, including myself, who have the attention span of, slightly higher intelligence goldfish, and whatever. So, does the movie sometimes take leaps in logic that don't get fully explained to the viewer? Yes, of course. And that's going to happen a lot of the time with these things, because I think part of it is, it's the opposite of the Batman issue, where in the Batman, we are 2 steps ahead of Batman the entire time, which is not good, because we, the viewer, should not be smarter than Batman, who is boasted as the world's greatest detective. That's just not how it works. The issue is, what's it called? When you look at, what's the one I'm looking for here? When you look at this episode, or this movie, it's does she solve things without being fully explained to you? Yes. Do they take narrative leaps just to move you around? Yes. I like that everything is kind of tied into the story in some way, and everything, there's nothing that really comes out of left field. I'll say this, the movie does have a more gruesome kill than probably anything in Halloween Ends. I'll give it that. I mean, I think, I don't want to say who it is that gets killed this way, but she jumps down off of a gangplank over a stage, riding the sandbag down, and there's a hook that's also connected to the sandbag, and because she's riding it down and it's going down, the hook comes up, gets the bad guy, who I'm not going to say who it is because it'll spoil the twist, but when you watch the movie, it's fairly obvious who it is, And when you look at the casting, you're like, oh, well, he hasn't played a good guy in a long time in a mainstream movie. But when you watch that, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And the hook goes up, gets him, like, in, at worst, the balls directly, if not the taint. And it picks him up by that and smashes his head into a ceiling beam. And it's like, that's pretty fucking extreme for a way for someone to go. Like, I don't care what he did. Like, that's a pretty fucking extreme way for someone to go. Who's not like Adolf Hitler or something. But it is a really interesting movie, and I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I was working on usually when I watch a movie, I'm also working on something. Last night I was working on the Phase 4 of the MCU rankings, because we're probably going to do an episode about that at some point in the near future. And I'm watching, and I found myself routinely riveted to this movie. And it is just so well done, all the way through. And so worth the, so worth the watch for anyone who has even a passing interest. Because I think that Henry Cavill really, like, nails being a more personable Sherlock Holmes. Because, like, that's the thing about, like, you know, other superhero actors who have also played Sherlock Holmes, namely Benedict Cumberbatch, who now plays Doctor Strange, and Robert Downey Jr., who now plays, or who did play for 10, years, Tony Stark. Like, now it is, with Henry Cavill, it is very hard to make Henry Cavill unlikable in a movie, although Zack Snyder did try his damnedest, and did somewhat succeed. But, like, even when he's playing the bad guy in Mission Impossible Fallout, he's still likable, and he's still more charming than he was as Superman. Here, he's just got that charm, and he's just, it's something to the character that's not just an abrasive douche. And I think that, for the iterations that Robert Downey Jr. and Benedict Cumberbatch played, it works. But I think that if Henry Cavill had to come in and play that against Enola, I don't think that would work. I think you need to have someone who's more personable, more likable, more charming, and he's still got arrogance to him, and he still has a know-it-all kind of feel, but it's a more gentle know-it-all than it is I'm smarter than everyone in the room, I know it, and I'm gonna let everyone know it. Like the one example from, Benedict Cumberbatch is, I think it was episode 2 of the show. He goes, Lestrade says something, and he goes, oh, shut up, Lestrade. Anytime you open your mouth, you lower the IQ of the entire street. And it's like, well, it's funny, and it's great. It's a great line for him. But I just don't think that it was necessarily oh, wow, everyone in both of those, also both the Watsons, ended up playing side characters in Marvel movies, too. Huh. And either way, because it was Jude Law who would end up playing the villain in Captain Marvel, and then it was, who was the other guy? Martin Freeman, who played Everett Ross in Black Panther and Civil War, for the CIA. It is, I'm very interested in the series now. I may go back and watch the first one, because I think that this one is very well self-contained, and it tells you really everything you need to know about the characters to really get going into high gear and understand what's going on in the story. And the movie does it so well that you don't need to worry about understanding anything. It's just all kind of laid out in a very simplistic way. And simplistic sounds demeaning, but it's explained in a way where you can just jump in and be like, okay, well, here's the characters, here are the relationships, let's go. And you don't need to sit here and retread anything. And yeah, there's definitely set up for a sequel, but I don't think that's the biggest sin in a movie, setting up for a sequel. I'm not totally against that. But I think we'll wrap up there for today. If you have not ever seen, if you've never seen what the fuck was it called? Enola Holmes or Enola Holmes 2. Definitely check them out. They're on Netflix. Yeah, we'll wrap up there for today. Our next episode will be The World We Make, probably tonight. So until then, have a great rest of your week.